Hello and welcome to my first video on Alchemy. I've played a lot of Alchemy over the last couple of days, and by now I feel confident in sharing what I have found. And we start with the right now seemingly best deck to me. I mean, it's very early in the format, but this deck felt really promising and I think has a wide range of good matchups. Of course, the metagame has not really been established yet. You don't really know what's going on. But what I can tell you is that this blue-white control deck is certainly good against most creature decks. Reason being the new card Divine Purge, which which exiles everything with all artifacts and creatures with mana value 3 or less, but they can cast them again, costing them 2 more mana to cast permanently, perpetually, and yeah, coming into play tapped. This sweeper is, I think, one of the best cards in the new set. I think people have not been realizing how incredibly good it is quite yet. It reads a little bit just like I can understand. I don't know. I saw this card and I was instantly convinced. But playing with it convinced me even more of its strength. Just buying you time is really only the only thing you need in a deck like this. Where with the extra time you buy, you can just discover the formula, Emeria's Call, and then at some point Lier, and just go completely crazy. This deck has a vibe of Is It Epiphany a little bit, because it mostly just tries to survive and then goes crazy, and you have a tough time interacting with the deck. And also, if you interact with the deck, it has multiple ways. It has a lot of card advantage built in, between like the card draw, Divide by Zeros, Teferis, Key to the Archive, Discover the Formula, Lier. There's a lot of card advantage, a lot of late game power. It doesn't need all the pieces to the puzzle, but of course, the key or the core strength is the Teferi untapping key and just making an absurd amount of mana, which then you can discover the formula, you can Emeria's Call, you can, at the end you find Lier or you find stuff from the key. Just with all that extra mana, you usually have things to do. This deck, I went through different iterations. For example, a card that I played at the very beginning and that other people are still playing is Geist Channeler. The 2 mana 1/3 comes to play, make a instant sorcery with CMC mana value, 3 or more 2 mana cheaper in your hand perpetually, which is pretty good if you're like trying to raise, if you have a lot of instants on spells that you want to make cheaper. If you're playing it, for example, against Talia, that card is amazing, right? It's a blocker for Talia, and it makes a spell cheaper, so it kind of mitigates the effect that Talia has. What I've found out, though, that this deck doesn't quite have the right amount of instant sorceries. For example, here on the 4-drop slot, we have 2 non-instant sorceries. The earlier iteration I had played like 7 of these, like 3 Seagate, 4 Emeria's Call with 4 Geist Channelers, so I could cast these 7 drops on turn 5. But even that didn't feel like super powerful. And the Geist Channeler also has the trouble of just, in the late game, it's just a dead draw essentially. Like in the late game, you draw it, you draw like a 1/3, it doesn't really do anything. It's really nice on turn 2, but it's also not nice on turn 2 if you don't have a spell that you want to make cheaper, right? Like Divine Purge, these 3 drops, they don't really, if you make them cheaper, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it is nice, but it's not. Then the Geist Channel didn't really do a whole lot of work, you know. Making Discover the Formula cheaper is very strong, of course. But I figured that I just want to not play that card. It's too much risk involved around it, and instead for the early game I chose to just play Fateful Absence and Sunset Revelry just to buy me time against the aggressive decks that way. Because yes, also in the control matchups where there's lots of counterspells involved, you don't necessarily want a card like Geist Channeler that is very bad against a counterspell. you just play the 1/3, make a spell cheaper. If that spell gets countered, what did you get out of the deal, right? Like, you just got a 1/3, which is kind of like a mulligan, which is not a real card. And yeah, so it's bad against counter spells, it's bad against go blank, against discard. There's risk involved. Geist Channeler is like a card that you play maybe in a very fast format, or in a certain type of deck, which I also have. I have a is it deck that I might show you later. Not today. Today we're playing this deck. Yeah. Anyways, what can I mean, we're trying to buy time. We're playing Teferi Key. Key is just a very good card as long as people are not hard targeting it. I think as the format progresses, people will probably choose to play more braids and similar effects. And Teferi untapping the key, obviously very strong. I tried multiple threats. I tried Hullbreaker Horror. I tried just playing like Emeria's Call. I feel like for like the mirror matches, you want some sort of creature threat. You don't want to just play Emeria's Call or like Mascot Exhibition to kill your opponent. And I found out that Lier was just incredibly powerful. Like Lier, you just need mana. And this deck produces a ton of mana, and then Lier is just so broken. And just by far the best thing you can be doing. The card, you just drop it, and then you have like a couple more mana left over, have a Divide by 0 up. And as long as you get to untap, the game is usually done. There's also a neat combo with Discover the Formula, that the spells that you find with Discover the Formula that you perpetually make one cheaper will also cost one cheaper in the graveyard, making Lier a little bit more efficient. For example, things like Fateful Absence, Sunset Revelry, pretty nice if they're 1 mana cheaper. Play a Lier, cast them again for 1 mana. Yeah. And yeah, this deck basically preys on the mid-range decks. It preys on the aggro decks. It has the best removal with Divine Purge now just being one of the best cards against creature decks. And it also is very good against like burn strategies because you have Sunset Revelry, which is one of the better cards against burn, and you have Teferi to gain you life. So for example, a deck that has gained in popularity due to Greg Kowalski shouting on Twitter that it's the best deck in the format, Mono Black Drain Sacrifice with lots of drain effects, Mythic Massacre and the new Blood Artist and the Brush Stroke that drain and drain. And things like Teferi and Sunset Revelry, especially Teferi, is just so nice against someone that like slowly tries to outdrain you. Those matchups have felt fairly easy. The deck that I have not faced yet is mono white aggro, with like Talia's Elite Spellbinders, Raidane, all of these taxing effects. I could see that being a little tricky, although we have a lot of removal there. So I think at the very least it should be an interesting matchup. I think what has an edge on this deck would be a deck that has a bunch of counter spells, perhaps like. But on the other hand, I have 3 Hermits in the sideboard, so I can fight counter spells fairly well with Hermit. But the Izzet Shell, if you play like a Braids and Prismary commands and have all of a sudden an efficient way to deal with Key to the Archive, that's also a problem for this deck. But anyways, I think overall this deck in like an unknown metagame, sort of like Alchemy still is, feels like the strongest. It is very powerful. It has life gain. It has the best removal. It has a powerful game plan on its own. It plays blue, so you have the counterspell interaction for the post-board games. It's just a very well-rounded deck, and Teferi and Key to the Archive is a nice combo. The sideboard, fairly explanatory. Like Fateful Absence, just another cheap removal spell. Sunset Revelry, playing 1 Sanctify for the mirror match to destroy keys. For like Roiling Vortex is a card that red aggro people have been picking up. You can board it in against the mono black sacrifice decks where they have Brush Stroke and other things. It's just having 1 disenchantment effect is kind of nice, because with Lier you all of a sudden then have 2. Yes, and the Hermits to force your 4 drops through the negates to stain for stroke against like Dragons decks, against Lier. Goldspan Dragon, all that stuff, and of course in mid-range fights, Variant 7. 1 Horror, just another threat, also in mid-range fights, can get you out of situations. this is certainly not a hard lock in the deck. And then we're trying one reduced to memory. I just put that card into my sideboard. With Divine Purge, for example, you don't mind giving your opponent tokens, because tokens just get exiled. That's also the nice thing about Fateful Absence, by the way. You get your opponent a clue token, but if you then later on Divine Purge, they will lose that clue token due to the exile and won't get the value out of this, which makes this then a 2-mana clean removal spell, one of the best removal spells ever printed, maybe, if you put the clue line away, the investigate line. Oh yeah, and Sunset Revelry is just so nice in this deck, especially with Lier. Like, if you ever are low on life and you just flashback with Lier, it just has really impressed me. Yeah, reduced to memory, just a one-off to exile anything. I'll try that one. I'm not quite sure yet about that one. Yeah, that's it about the deck. It's very powerful. Divide by Zero is still a messed up Magic card. We're playing 2 Unexpected Conversion. I could talk about that card for 1 second. It's basically just a draw 2, so makes your land drops, makes you help there. And the late game, you can ditch like Jwari Disruption. Against control decks, you can ditch Divine Purge, Doomskar, and so on. Yeah. And also, Doomskar, Divine Purge, people playing for Doomskar, I think you have to realize that, yes, Doomskar is still a very good card, but I think most aggressive creature decks are playing small creatures anyways, and those small creatures are the problem. Not necessarily the big ones. And the exiling effect is very important against mono black sacrifice. If you ever draw Divine Purge against mono black sacrifice, they just scoop him up basically. It's just so good against that deck. And yeah, Doomskar, you have the Fateful Absence and Fading Hope for bigger creatures that don't get hit by Divine Purge. You have Divide by Zero there too. So I felt like going down to 2 Doomskar is fine. Yeah, alright, let's get into the games. I can't wait after talking so much. And the deck has just been a blast to play as well. I've been loving it. I can't get enough of it. I honestly think Alchemy, or at least my impression right now, is okay. We can make a little metagame analysis. So for example, we have Greg Kowalski with the mono black sacrifice. That mono black sacrifice drain deck is really good against creature decks, really good. Like Blood Artist and Mythic Massacre and Blood in the Snow and Lolth, it's just destroying creature decks. But from what I've experienced so far, it's not that good against these like over-the-top blue decks. So these blue decks that beat up on these black decks, that beat up on the creature decks, and then technically it should be rock, paper, scissors, that then the creature decks beat up on the blue-white deck. So then we have a rock, paper, scissors situation. But from my experience, this blue-white deck has also beaten up on the creature decks. So it's beating up on mono black, it's beating up on the creature decks. So what is this losing to? I think the answer to that is probably blue decks, different blue decks. Yeah, essentially. Or maybe a mono-white deck with a blue splash or something like that really targets God, we're waiting quite a long time. That really targets the blue-white deck. But then that deck loses to mono black, so it's interesting. Okay, we found an opponent. Sweet. Let's go. This is tough. One land, I have a divination. I have some time. Whoa, we're playing someone in silver rank? Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll take it. Yeah, Alchemy hasn't been the most popular format. I think that's due to card availability. That's definitely a factor. Whoa, we're playing 4 colors? Interesting. So now like a chariot, something that could come. I think I'll just divide. I want to have an empty board when I play like a Teferi. Opponent has a interesting deck. I think I'm just gonna discard an Absence and hope to draw an untapped land. No such luck. Interesting. So with the Spellbinder, I don't mind the Divine Purge. I don't quite know what's going on here. I also don't know if I necessarily want to exchange one of my spells. I definitely don't want to take the Jwari. That one's going to get played as a land this turn. I think I'll just keep everything, to be honest with you. I don't really have an urge to exchange anything. I wouldn't necessarily know what I would want. Like Divide by Zero is in my deck, Emeria's Call, Discovery Formula and so on. But this hand as is seems well rounded. I don't want to change anything. Yeah, that's a little annoying. So I just Memory Deluge, I think. My opponent's missing land drops. We could also Teferi plus. And then Divine Purge. Oh. Teferi plus would mean that Teferi loses 4 loyalty, which I'm not that happy with, honestly. I think I'll just Memory Deluge. Set myself up. Divine Purge is especially brutal if your opponent is missing land drops. For them, yeah. Not for us, of course. Okay. Divine Purge is looking pretty sexy. We can go to Teferi into Purge. What happens? They went for this one, okay. Oy. I guess we take a Divide for sure. I don't want another Teferi, do I want discard? Might be a little overkill. But on the other hand, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily need a second Divide. I feel one should be enough. Alright, let's play Teferi and then untap a land and wipe the board. The power of... I can actually tap the clue. Why not? Not the clue, the treasure. Be gone. The White Anger of the Gods. Arguably better than Anger of the Gods. Exiling creatures of mana value 3 or less is arguably better than dealing 3 damage, I would say. Of course, Anger deals permanently, but again, that is not as important. I'm fine losing some life. Alright, we got 6, potentially 8 mana. Time to discover, I think. Make a lot of things in my hand cheap. Alright, sweet. I could even minus, honestly. But I have so many cards in my hand, I probably just want to plus. Do I want to just keep up Divide by Zero? No, I think I'll just kill that thing now. Could also purge again, I guess. Not unreasonable. But we can absence and then purge, and this way we get the clue gone. Oh yeah, we also exiled the treasure token, so that's extra good against Innkeeper with Divine Purge. Okay. They saw the writing on the wall. Understandably, with missing so many land drops. Okay, so what we've seen is an adventure type of deck. I don't know if I want to make any changes to my deck. From what I've seen, the creatures are kind of good against bounce, so I might not want to have the Fading Hope. Fading Hope is kind of like a gimmick. I don't know if it's kind of good with Teferi on turn 4. You can untap an island and then Fading Hope. And of course, if you're playing Lier in your deck, it's always nice to have Fading Hope. And the one-off is just so much better than having 0. Right, like if you have a one-off in your deck, you all of a sudden give yourself a chance to draw it, have it, etc. And one-offs get better with flashback enabling, like Lier. Yeah, I think I'll just keep it like this, honestly. You can make an argument that Sunset Revelry is not good here. Play something like Stroke or Negate or Horror. I think I'm just gonna run it back until I have more information. And really with Sunset Revelry, can't really go that wrong with the cards. Yes, it might be sort of card disadvantage at some points, but you just cash it in for like life and a couple tokens, which is not powerful. But especially if you're on the draw, usually, again, you just need time. We technically don't have a land, but yeah, we dispel lands, count as lands. So, should I shock myself here? Probably. I'm not sure though. If my opponent has exactly lead Spellbinder, I kind of want to shock myself, but I don't know that, so I'm just gonna not do it. So I don't have a play on turn 3 anyways. Ooh, that's pretty strong, isn't it? Okay. Oh, wow, what's happening? Glasspool Mimic? Ay, that's why you're playing 4 colors. Whoa. Oh, what the heck? Ay. That is kind of messed up. And these things are not even Divine Purgeable. You can Anger of the Gods them, but I'm not playing Anger. Like, Anger of the Gods is not legal. Yeah, I can pack it up. Wow, that is incredible. Well, I could draw Sunset Revelry, but that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I'm really seeing this go off. I don't exactly know what the odds are of hitting Glasspool Mimic, but they can't be that bad if you're playing 4 Mimics in your deck. You get to see 2 cards. Draw. Wow, that's just incredible. That's insane. A Doomskar would have gotten me out of this situation. I'm totally happy playing around with the numbers. I'm not locked on anything. Okay, so now that we're on the play and they have Inquisitor Captain, I might want to consider a stroke. Like, someone that's playing Prosperous Innkeeper surely has surely must have more in the ways of 4-drop, right? Like more strokeable targets, maybe even more than Inquisitor Captain. Maybe there's Chariot. That's a weird one. That's a weird one. I think it's good though. Jwari Disruption is on the play, just a very nice card. Your opponents can hardly play around it. And if they do so, Vinewood Falls, wow. If they do so, we can play them as lands. Okay. I'll just go with this. Now that we already played 2 Jwari Ruins, it's kind of unlikely that they choose to play around Jwari Ruins, right? Jwari Disruption. What free drop do you want to deploy? Opponent has options. Otherwise they wouldn't think. Yeah, I mean, it's a small thing, but basically it tells you that your opponent has likely choices in terms of free drops. So yeah, I'm just gonna get the key out. Getting the key out early is the way. It makes the card so much stronger. Like turn 4 on the play key, and if you get to untap with key, it is just very powerful. That is pretty mediocre. I think it's just a growth spell for me, which I might honestly just discard. We could also discard Fateful Absence. I don't hate that either. No, I think the growth spell is it's just 2 mana draw a card essentially here. Like, yeah, you get to make a land drop too perhaps, but we don't even have many extra lands in our hands, so it's just like a 2 mana cycle. I think a Fateful Absence is a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. That is good. Okay. Hopefully this Doomskar will be very nice here. But yeah, if it turns out that Inquisitor Captain becomes very popular, then you can certainly play around with the Doomskar Divine Purge split of 4 and 2. You can go into 3 and 3. Yeah, you can always change that up and see how the format develops. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's not terrible, I guess. The opponent has like a grindy, company, flickerish deck. Maybe they play a card that flickers things. Maybe, yeah. The 4 mana teleportation circle, I think it's called. Or they play something like this. Wow. Huh. I mean, I don't really want to use any of my removal. I think of what I might do is I think I might just bounce this, get a Teachings and draw some cards. Lier. So I could even draw up to 3 cards, right? If I choose to kill this. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Play my land. They have 5 in hand, right? Yeah. There's a new bug where they actually might not have 5 cards in hand when there's a 5 here. So you gotta be a little careful when they like seek for a card, something like that. Yeah, could come up. Well, we have a Doomskar on Foretell. We're at 15. They can dawdle around. My game plan is very likely more powerful than theirs. So. Oh. All the copy value here. Certainly a sweet idea. Looks definitely fun. Alright. This one also in the deck. Wow. It's land or it's Memory Deluge? I think it's just Memory Deluge. Oh, well, interesting, I guess. I have to show them 2 because they have 2 types here. Then I guess I just show them those 2, huh? I mean, Key to the Archive isn't... If I draw a Teferi in the late game, though, it's kind of strong. Lier doesn't really look good right now. Alright. Yeah, my next turn is probably just going to be key. Or I could flashback Memory Deluge if they take it. It's not unreasonable. I don't hate that play either. Maybe I'll just do that. And then they likely deploy more things on the board, and then we Doomskar. Although, the way they deploy things on the board will just be Inquisitor Captain flickering. Which is pretty strong, I suppose. I don't want to quite Doomskar yet, though. Yeah, I think I'll go for the Memory Deluge. Are we playing around counter spells? I feel like my opponents... I don't know. Do we think they have counter spells? I don't think so. I'll rather wait and see what I want to have. In the next turn, I'm probably Doomskar plus key. Actually, if I find a Teferi, I can Teferi, Doomskar, and key at the same time. So Teferi untaps key and a land, and then I can Doomskar with 8 mana in play. Yeah. Likely hitting my Lier. Yeah, I have a tough time believing that they play counter spells as well. Like they already have to commit a lot of creatures to make Inquisitor Captain good. They're playing flicker things. Wow. Okay. Non-land card I have to discard, okay. Well, I guess I'll find a non-land card here. Lier. I could discard a Lier. Divide by 0. I could also discard Divide by 0. I'm gonna just Doomskar plus key this turn. And Divide by 0 is slightly annoying, I guess. So it's gonna bounce my key. And Lier doesn't really do anything for them. And Lier, I can actually, if they choose to cast Lier, I can discard it. I can bounce it back to my hand. So I get a Glasspool Mimic, which I can just play as a land, which is nice. Or discard into key to the archive. So pretty happy about that. Okay. Oh, I wish... Come on, just give me a Teferi, please. Ooh, Time Warp. Wow. Can't cast that right now. Alright, this does not actually draw a card for me. Yeah, no, never mind. For once, whatever. Okay, Electrolyze is pretty tempting too. But Time Warp is just incredible with Lier. Sunset Revelry. I don't know. Maybe it's just a discard. I'm gonna play Mimic as a tap land. I really like lands right now. So next turn we have 4, 8, 10, 11 mana. Maybe I should have just taken the Lier and gave them the Divide. I don't know. Having the Lier cheaper basically means you get like more access to spells sooner. Crusader Handmaster, okay. What a pile of a deck. A teeny tiny bit greedy maybe. Teeny tiny bit. What did I fetch up? It's so unusual that you don't get any information on that. It's weird. Exiling the Lier. Yeah, makes sense. I guess they have a nice use for it after all. So if you play my own Lier, I have 4 mana over, which I could use to Growth Spiral, another land into play, and then have Divide up. I'm gonna get hit for 8. Yeah. I can take a hit for 8, I don't mind. If they go like super crazy onto the board, we can cast Doomskar and then with Doomskar on the stack, cast Divide on the Lier. If you want to do that. Yeah, I'll go down to 7. No worries. All right. Limited All-Star Loyal Griff making an appearance. All right. Now I can just Divide. I think it's pretty safe. Do I want to? Yeah, I think so. What am I even doing? Trying to think how these turns play out. These next couple turns. Yeah, I think I'll do this. Against Time Warp plus Mascot. Ui. Yeah, I think this is probably game somewhere or another. So how much mana do I have? 5, 10, 13. This cost me 12. Yeah, hitting Time Warp with Key is just kind of incredible when you have Lier in your deck. Yeah. That was that. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? That's the power of the deck. In the late game, especially with Lier, it's just getting crazy. Like, Lier is also so nice with these Key to the Archive spells. Then you can flashback a Helix or what have you, like Putrefy, Electrolyze, all these powerful spells. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for sure.
Past the pandemic, when we're free.
Alright, next match starting. Midazolam. By the way, yeah, that seems to be, or at least, yeah, I think the mythic symbol is a little bugged as of late. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to look like this. This is not a good enough hand, just 2 blue. We're on a draw. Alright. I will just put the planes away. Lunar Veteran Clerics with a Hengegate Pathway. Yeah, this is likely Esper Clerics. I had the pleasure already. I can tell you Divine Purge and Doomskar are very good. So yeah, this is normal black-white Clerics with Inquisitor Captain and Glasspool Mimic. So the same combo that we saw finishing game 2 in our last match very quickly. You will see here too. Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for a Divine Purge. We don't want to use the Doomskar because we want them to replay everything. And Doomskar, of course, if they have an Inquisitor Captain right here, which I do, quite a curve out, we can Doomskar that. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a hit. Play this tapped. Think maybe not. I think one, yeah, I think I should play one tapped. I have another one in hand. The game is already getting to a late stage. This turn I don't want to counter anything anyways. If they have Orath, that would be annoying, I guess. Okay. They're just gonna blow everything up. Well, Orath, we could at least just like Fateful Absence. I think it's called Orath. That's the 4-mana 3/3 cleric that when it dies, or when any cleric dies, you get you can like get clerics back from your graveyard. Of course, at some point we need a thing to pull us ahead. We need like a Teferi, a Lier, a key. Because, yeah. Yep. interesting. I think I might just counter that. They have 2 cards left. No, they have 1 card left. Yep, that's the bug with Inquisitor Captain that I was talking about earlier. They only have 1 card left, but it shows us that they have 2 left. I could also just pop this one, because it's like the only threat they have, really. This thing. I'll let them have it. Just bounce. Yeah, I mean, teachings I won't fire off. Environmental science I could, but I already have 2 lands, so it's just a mascot for me. Mm-hmm. Question is, do I want to fire off my Fateful Absence here on this 3/3? I technically have a 3/2 and a 4/4. Curious if my opponent has removal. Like, I wouldn't even know. Like, I don't know. Do we think they have removed? They only have 1 card left in hand. I don't necessarily want to give them the clue here. Like, Fateful Absence is nice when you can buy time, when you have Divine Purge to exit a clue. But it is not very good in like this sort of evenish board state here, where we're both low on resources. I think I'm happy trading. Okay. So they have 0 cards now. Yeah. All right, that's a very good one. Okay. Also, Lier is super nice with Divine Purge. It's like early Divine Purge, then they try to rebuild, then you have Lier, Divine Purge again. Of course, Divine Purge is also a card that becomes better in multiples. So if you're planning to play the card, you should probably like play at least like 3 copies of it, because it really is a card that you want in multiples. All right. Okay. So I think I'll just make more mascots. Opponent's already good gaming me. Okay. Had enough. Alright. This matchup looks kind of... I'm feeling maybe like, I don't know, maybe I want 1 less absence, one more Doomskar. Like a Doomskar would have been... These Inquisitor Captain decks, Doomskar seems pretty good. And a bunch of these absence, it's like 2 of them is good, but 3 might be a little too much. What do I have to worry about? Like the Stain for Stroke is maybe a good one. Sunset Revelry isn't the greatest, I would say. Because the matchup is certainly, as you saw there, it was a little grindy. If I wouldn't have drawn at Lier, if my opponent would have drawn a couple lands less, I could have gotten grinded out by like another Inquisitor Captain. In Sunset Revelry, like it doesn't seem very good. It's just chump blocks, buys you a little bit of time. It's better against decks like burn or mono white aggro where you really just need that time, I think. So what do I want then? Disdain for Stroke? It's also an awkward card against someone like my opponent. Maybe just another Absence. Maybe Absence is fine and I just need to buy that time. Just kill the thing. Alright, I'll play one stroke. Interesting. I think I'll keep. Not the biggest fan of this hand though. I don't have double white yet. We have lands, we have Jwari. And we have late game. Angel of Unity. Whenever you play a party spell, it gives the thing 1/1. Perpetually in the hand. Alright. So Teferi plus. I just need to buy. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna. I think I'll just Teferi minus. Honestly, I'll just cash in Teferi. Sweet. Good one. Good one. Well, they're obviously gonna name Doomskar, which we will just play Lier then. My opponent goes up to 23 life. I'm at 18.
Only time will tell.
We have the Divine Purge in the grave. So you better kill the Lier. Okay. Interesting, okay. Alright. 27 life. Jwari doesn't work as long as Lier's in play, so I'm thinking about playing Jwari as a tap land. Could play the Righteous Valkyrie. It's really unfortunate that Jwari didn't work there. Like, very nice. Yeah, no spells, no divide. Lier doesn't look so hot anymore here. And if I Doomskar, my opponent basically will end up with a 5/7 in play. That gives 2/2 to everything because Aura. Yeah, it's very nice. Giving protection. But if. Yeah, I mean, this is rough actually. This is pretty tough. This is pretty tough. need like a good spell off the top. I don't think I'm jumping here because Doomskar is just not very good. Oy. So I can either make Angels or I can key to the Archive, but then I have to jump block. If I make Angels, it makes things a little bit more difficult for my opponent. I guess I can attack. Get him lower on life. If they have a removal spell on one of the Angels, they can... Nah, I think I stay back. I really want to double block their creature. And if they have a removal spell on one of the Angels, I basically have to jump. Okay. Now they don't really have good attacks, right? They could attack with both. But then I just kill the Aura and then Doomskar. Interesting. So I guess now I just kill the Aura. I can also kill the Aura and just make 2 more Angels. But I'm at 1 and I have to jump and block. Probably not a good idea. So I'll just let's do like this and jump here, go to 6, Doomskar, they have no board state. 2 cards left and an Angel of Unity. And 40 life. Oh, I make Angels. I don't think that makes much sense though. Like I mean, it buys time, I guess. Yeah, maybe it makes sense actually. My Doomskar is always gonna be there. If they have exactly Aura... Okay, what's gonna happen here? Like, I'm gonna Doomskar, they're gonna rebuild a little bit. And then I'm gonna play Lier and have 2 mana up, which doesn't do me any good. But then if I untap the Lier and I still survive... Okay, I think, yeah, I actually go for Angels. I just want to buy more time. Honestly, I guess what I should have maybe done is I should have just gone to 1 and keep another Angel around. Just double block with Lier. But I mean, if they kill the Lier, you know, then I couldn't even do this play, so that is perfect. I'm confused. My opponent choosing to do nothing. Because they think I have to pop the Doomskar, I suppose. Doomblade seems kind of good. Growspell is good too because it allows me to like draw. But yeah, Doomblade's probably better. D-Spark's interesting too. I already have the Doomblade effect in my hand technically. D-Spark allows me to exile the Aura. I already have Doomskar as well. I also like the growth spell. I mean, just being able to draw into more things. Ah, it's tough. Oh, Doomskar with this one. I think there's no doubt. I mean, I could just go to 1, I think. What stops me from going to 1? Everything is every thread is lethal then. Yeah, I should probably not go to 1. Right. Technically, I could respond to that in case they have Glasspool Mimic. It's certainly something you want to keep in mind. But because I have Doomskar, I don't really mind. They have 3 cards left in hand. Yeah, now we don't really have anything to get ahead. So if I would have taken a growth spell, I would have at least drawn some cards. Kind of regretting my choice now. Yeah. I'll just sit here and do nothing, I guess. Hit my opponent for 7, maybe. Okay. My opponent cannot find Aura, which is like the threatening card. My opponent could find the Angel, which I guess, yeah, it's kind of fine. I don't have to Doomblade. I can just jump block and then Doomskar. All right. Oh, Sunset Revelry. I guess I'll just pop it off to draw some cards. Yep. Opponent looks like they have 5, but they only have 3 cards. Alright. Now they're down to 1 card in hand. Oh well. Well, what I can do actually... Okay, how about I do this? I'll foretell, I play Lier. And then we'll play Revelry and get to draw a card, make 4 life, and get a token. Isn't that incredible? I'm getting everything out of it. Not pulling ahead though. Okay. Alright. Teferi. Yep. Divide would also be so good here. They have 4 power in the air. This thing has 1 counter because it has perpetual power and toughness 3 times. Okay, got pumped up by the angel. So if it has 4 extra counters, it gains flying. But they don't really have lots of life gain right now. They only have 1 card in hand, by the way. Yeah, I could technically just pop this Doomskar and just call it a day. I really would like to find a divide though before I do that. I think I'm just gonna pass the turn. I'm gonna likely block with a 1/1. We'll see what they do. I mean, I have a Hall of Storm Giants, so they might just attack me for 4 in the air. Oh, really? Seems a little reckless. Nothing. I'm thinking about just absenting my own token. Just to draw a card. I think I like that. This was kind of suicidal attack. Okay. Opponent's down to 1 card. That's a good one. Alright. Alright. Could Teferi and Purge. And Inversion as well. For basically costs 1 mana, a 5, 7, 10. So I could do everything, yeah. I guess we should start with the key then. Oi. Demonic Tutor. Yeah, I think I'll take that one. No, I'll just cast Teferi. Yeah. This is the first time that Lier wasn't so powerful playing with Lier. Now I was just missing the spells. I mean, the difference, for example, to like, is it Epiphany or Dimir, Lier, Dimir Witch, is that you don't have as many cheap spells in the stack. You still have a lot of spells, Divide and the Sweepers, Conversion, but you don't have as many. So maybe 1 Lier is enough. Maybe 1 Lier is just enough. Could play like a horror instead of the other. This again felt like a game where if my opponent would have had a little bit more stuff, like just a generic removal spell for the Lier, we would have lost. People have untuned list. My opponent didn't have any counter spells. My opponent had 1 duress to attack with me, no go blanks, and otherwise they just played their generic game 1 plan of playing creatures. Yeah. That's someone again. So I already have the Divide for like something big. I could. So basically, I think it's Absence or it's Emeria's Call. I think I'll just put back Absence. I might regret that, playing against mono white now. Hopefully no Talia. Oh, the nerfed Lumina Gasprint. This will result in me just getting some 1/1s. I could have Emeria's called pay 3, gain 4. Huh. Sunset Revelry is also good with Fading Hope, I suppose. Should I just make 1/1s here? Yeah, buy me some time. But I guess what I should have done is I should have played this on turn 2 so I get my life. Nerfed cards everywhere. Actually, I'll just take it. I'd rather have the 1/1s for later when I have the Teferi out, which I'm planning to cast the Teferi here. Interesting. Nothing on turn 4. Nothing, yeah. Awkward draw. So they have 5 in hand. Maybe just take Sciences. Could also just exile Raidane. That's basically, which mediocre spell do you want? Mascot costs a lot of mana. Raidane and play especially. Oh, reduced to memory. It's a tough. It's quite the cost to pay. I'll just take Sciences. This buys me time and gives me mana, which is kind of good against Raidane too. On a board state like this, I don't mind minusing, I think. Just get my immediate value, and the next turn I can start plussing and make mana, because the plus ability really doesn't do anything besides gaining me some life. Really? Me? I mean, I guess I don't really care. Hold it to fairies. I mean, I guess I'll just cash one in. If I have so many. Divide. Black Mirror. Another permanent becomes okay. Could also just take a land. Black Mirror doesn't really do anything against my deck anyways. I guess I can attack for 1. No, actually the mirror doesn't matter anyways because of the protection effect. So I can cast Sunset to draw a card and gain 4. Yeah, I think I'll rather do that than getting a land here. I already made my land drop. And I don't know if I will be able to cash in this for a card in the future. Yeah, I mean, playing Emeria just really doesn't seem that great. Still attacking me. We're just purging here. Keeping up Field of Ruin. What? Oh, it's any permanent. Wow. Okay. I wanted to cast Environmental Sciences, untap, and then I can still purge. Okay. We learned something there. What I'm doing, just purging and plussing, I suppose. The question, I could play Emeria is called tapped. Then I would have another tap land. And then I would have an untapped Field of Ruin here, which would allow me to cast Revelry, perhaps. Well, yeah, I can do that anyways. But no, actually, it's actually, I think this is a good play, yeah, because it actually allows me to cast Lier into Divine Purge next turn, 100%, and that might be exactly what I want to be doing. Okay. That's awkward. Now I would rather have a... Yeah, I mean, now I'm missing the 4/4 a little bit, the Emeria. Kind of like that card now in my hand. Just attacking me. That's not... you can't do that. You have to attack my Planeswalker here. I could just play Lier. I mean, it's maybe a little reckless. A little reckless. Decisions. I could just Sciences and pass with Divide Up and plus my Teferi. See what they do in combat. Now they kind of have to attack Teferi. If not, I'm going to ultimate it. Which, the ultimate makes me draw an extra card each turn and untap all my permanents in the opponent's turn. Yeah. You should probably prevent that. I wasn't a big fan of this card when I first saw it, but it slots nicely into this deck, and of course it becomes powerful if you play good artifacts that you want to play anyways. Okay, I can still cast Divide, so you can do your thing. If this would be a digital only card, I would certainly say perpetually it costs 2 more, right? And it wouldn't exile, it would just leave it in hand. They're just still attacking me, okay. Well, okay. That's lights out for my opponent. Because now I'm gonna emblem and just go nuts. I guess no, this is not how I want to do it. I want to play Mascot first. And then I'm going to play Discover in my opponent's turn, yeah. What I also could have done is I could have just played Lier. And then I have double divide up. But now that I drew the Discover, it seems sensible to just do that first. None of my tokens survive? Is that what's happening? Okay. Okay. Ooh, my opponent smartly playing around Divine Purge here, but not attacking with the 3/3. What's my play? I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. I can go Lier. Oh, Purge first. Could have attacked first. Small mistake. I guess I played Teferi. Yeah, it's a little confusing for me playing with this emblem. I wasn't quite, yeah. So theoretically, I could divide here the Inquisitor. It doesn't really. Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. Opponent has on 4 cards, so I'll play this untapped. So what I really underestimated is the life gain too. Like having the life gain effect is so nice. In these control decks, we're just trying to stabilize sometimes and just gaining some life. It's good. No key to the archives, can't really show off that combination, but Teferi emblem does it too. Alright, let's cast some response. Let's divide that on the stack. I could also Field of Ruin, but I'm not gonna do that. I guess I could have just discarded like a Fading Orb. I don't need that. And Lier recast it anyways. Alright. So this costs 7. Doesn't matter. Gosh. I got some spells. Yeah. My opponent has 5 cards. I guess I'll just cast this. My opponent also does not seem to be willing to give up. I mean, I don't mind it. Am I gonna deck myself? There's 27 cards left. Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of cards. Stretch a little bit. Okay, alright. Yeah, I think the lesson for my opponent definitely was to kill my Teferi, attack the Planeswalkers. It might make sense to ignore Planeswalkers sometimes, when your opponent is very low on life and the Planeswalker doesn't do anything important. But in that situation, you should definitely kill the Planeswalker. Okay. Again, my main deck is mostly already built against these aggressive decks. So there's not much in terms of changes I can and will do. But we could play a couple more of these. Yeah. Talia on the play is troublesome. That's something that like a blue-red or a blue-black deck can deal much easier with like Spikefield Hazard and Shambling Gas and what have you, or Bloodchief's First. Alright. Paladin Shield does not seem very good against my particular deck. I don't want to just purge this one creature. Okay. Maybe I have to purge it though. Yeah, I think now I have to. I could take another hit and then take another hit. Purge awkward. Oh, that's a beautiful draw. Again, I want to say purge awkward a little bit in a deck like in a game like this one, where I'll just take the Doomblade, I think. My opponent doesn't seem to be any... Oh, I kind of forgot about the Paladin class. So I'm gonna get hit for 10 here, potentially. Okay. Alright. No Doomblade for me. For the foreseeable future. Sure. But a 4/4. I would advise against keeping a card like this in the deck. My opponent might have a very bad sideboard, but any generic creature should be better than this. Beautiful. Doomblade Online again, potentially. Oh, we're really getting bad cards today, huh? Frozen Grip in the graveyard. Later, flashback. Destroy Paladin class. Taking out Doomblade. I think what I'm gonna get is gonna land in the graveyard anyways. I mean, yeah. Technically, no, I'll just do this. Yeah, no, I like this. Yeah, like any of the cards I would have gotten are worse than these three. Now I can play Skyclave again, so that's kind of annoying. For Purge, I'm gonna give them the portable hole back, which means they have another removal for the key, for the illusion token. Okay, I mean, I think I'll just pass. Doing nothing. I could bounce the class. Maybe I should bounce the class, play my call, and draw some cards. Yeah, that's actually good, I think. Get the teachings. They have 3 cards in hand, so I get to draw 2 now. Alright, third key. Third key will also get exiled, I guess. Huh, Skyclave Aberration. Damn. MVP of this game. I'm getting outgrinded. I need my Lier. There's my Lier. Don't destroy my key. Otherwise I'm stranded. Seventh land, Skyclave, would do it. It's also pretty good. Alright. Go to 2. Okay. Doomskar, let's go. Alright. So, Lier, yeah, I'm just gonna pop this Doomskar, of course, yeah. Get me a Lier. I think that's best. If I didn't have this Doomskar, I would have just played Lier. Okay, so this I can just purge away if I want to. And then I can Demonic Tutor for something else. Teferi? What if they? What happens if they kill my Lier? Should maybe account for that. Just get another Lier. Get this thing. They might have, I don't know, Valorous Stance. They have one more card in hand, so it's kind of unlikely, I guess. I mean, basically, if Lier survives, I'm gonna win this game, right? If my key gets destroyed, can I win? I will still have access to Absence and Divide and Doomskar and Divine Purge. I'm tempted to just get this. I'm tempted to get Teferi. Alright, I'll get Teferi. I don't know. Like, Deluge, Teferi. They're all grindy cards. I could have gotten a second key. That's not a permanent solution. Boy, Skyclave Shade would be... Skyclave Apparition would be insane here. I see the last card. Oh, they're out of cards. 0 cards left. Alright. That means party time next turn. Doomblade, did Kafars, Teferi, untap. No, threw a Teferi. An expensive Teferi. Oh my god, that's complicated now. So, play Teferi again. Okay, what am I doing? This entire turn. I guess I really don't care about Eberhard. I mean, I'm on 2 lives, so I can't really let them have the creature too. Alright, I'll play Teferi. Make a blue, make a black. Kill this. This is on level 2. Tap. 6 mana. Just keep up the Divide. Frozen Grip. I feel like I'm supposed to just Frozen Grip this right now because it makes things cost more mana. And that's it. Zero cards in hand, even though it shows it's 0. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I was like thinking, should I do this and then get Mascot? My opponent understood. That's blue-white control in Alchemy, rank 27 right now. There's still a little fine-tuning to be made, of course, how the meta game is and so on. But you see, like, the 4 Divine Purge with the Lier, it just makes your opponent, in the end, they had all these creatures in exile, kind of access to them, but it just did not matter. The game was at a point where nothing. They needed aggression and not card advantage, which they had kind of. Yeah, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed this little video about blue-white alchemy. Yeah, see you until next time. And if you like it, don't forget to subscribe and follow. Thank you. Bye.